I probably just burped on stream. Sorry, y'all. I still have the headphones on. I don't stream with these on, as we are here back again after the Super Bowl. We're here for the Super Bowl after party. It is February 9th, 2026, the day after the big game, and we're here to chat a bit about that. We're here to chat about Kenny Walker, because, well, by golly, he deserves it. And then we're going to talk about the Patriots being absolute frauds, as well as next season in football. And, well, is it the Panthers' turn next? As, of course, wearing the J.C. Horn jersey. I think I wore this the last time I wore a Panthers shirt on the pod. Would have been last week. And, yeah, I'm excited to get into this. Whether you're watching this live on the CollingsThodeNetwork or as a video, make sure you go down below, click subscribe, click the like button. It helps out the channel a bunch. We just made it to 180 subscribers. Can't thank you all enough. We're going to keep on pushing. So to jump right into it, why not? We're not going to waste any time around here. Super Bowl champions, the Seattle Seahawks. Good for them, honestly. Good for them. What a season. Very deserved. That's the number one thing that I've come away from this feeling. I was like, yeah, good for them. But yeah, the team I wanted to win won, and they won it in dominant fashion. It was a good time. Good time had by all. Well, everyone but Patriots fans, I feel like. Sam Darnold won a Super Bowl. This guy went from being trash, seeing ghosts, monoculus, what is it called? Mono, we're just going to simplify it, to, Super rotting away in California. Well, he was on the bench of the 49ers, and then in the stadium where he never once got to start a game, he wins the Super Bowl. Crazy story. I didn't write Sam Darnold down on my topic list, but he absolutely is someone that I want to talk about because he deserves all of the praise and recognition. So if you didn't watch the Super Bowl last night, if you're not a big sports person, thanks for tuning in anyways. That's awesome. Thank you. As we see Dave Collings, our first chatter of the day, saying Darnold made my takes about him look very bad. Props to Sam. And yeah, I got to hear about that. He didn't trust Sam Darnold for as far as he could throw him. I definitely butchered that. I can only trust him as far as I could throw him. And, well, apparently you could throw him pretty far because he just won a Super Bowl. So, yeah, it was 29-13. Seahawks beat the Patriots, and it was never in doubt. The Seahawks could have won this game strictly off of field goals. They never needed to score a touchdown. As we actually saw a record-breaking performance from Jason Myers. He made 5 field goals. That's a Super Bowl record in our 29-13 butt whooping of a game. It actually started as a 9-0 at half. And my Nana downstairs decided, this is where I'm turning the game off, as she was bored out of her mind. It looked like that was the Super Bowl we were having. And the third quarter, more of the same. We only saw 1 field goal kicked for the Seahawks, and that was it. This was definitely a defensive matchup, and good on ya if you like defensive matchups. Can't say I do. I'll be real with y'all. Hey, I like a nice, 21-17. Sometimes I'm down for a nice, 19-16, 19-17 game. Sometimes those are very exciting. The Panthers did a lot of those types of exciting, low-scoring games. This was not one of them. I can tell you that much. This was very much so not one of them. Drake May, awful, horrible. It's shocking that he was that bad all the way until the fourth quarter. As I went back on my stream, when we entered the fourth quarter, he was at just about 65 passing yards. Now, Drake May would finish the game with 295. He had about 230 passing yards in the fourth quarter in strictly garbage time. He also had 2 interceptions, 2 touchdowns. The interceptions came at actually important, times in the game, earlier on especially. Trying to find exactly where these are. I guess they're not going to highlight the interceptions. From the game there, as now the drive counts is just horrible for the Patriots. It goes punt, 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 end of half. Then they come out of the half, they go punt, 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 fumble, touchdown, interception, interception, touchdown, end of game. And that's your Super Bowl. Those are the losers for the Seahawks. They went field goal, punt, punt, field goal, punt, field goal, punt, punt, touchdown, punt, field goal, punt. Ugly game. I cannot believe that. And then we see also in the chat, the Wilson trade turned out to be the steal of the century. 2 firsts, 2 seconds. All of them played big roles in the game. And that's no surprise, especially for a guy that since leaving the Seahawks has proven to be kind of a non-commodity, a midder than mid quarterback, if not worse than mid. So, yeah, I would say absolutely they came out like gangbusters with that. And then a few good years from, Geno Smith. And so there was the groundwork for this team to be good the whole time. So I'm not surprised that they've won it all. Again, very deserved. That's the, number one thing that I'm coming away from this. It's been a while since I've watched a championship game in sports in general where I was like, yeah, that was deserved. I like that, because most recently was the Blue Jays. That's all I gotta say about that. And then before then, the NBA champion, the Thunder, was heartbreaking. It was genuinely so sad watching Halliburton go down and get injured. In hockey, it was the Florida Panthers winning again. That sucked. It's not been a good time. It was the Dodgers again before that, and then it's not been fun. It's not been a good time. I'm not enjoying my championships in sports, except for this one. So thank you, Seattle. I voice cracked super hard there. I'm just trying to move past it. Thank you so much, Seattle. Shout out to Conley Ecclestone, one of my former classmates, a radio personality in Fergus, Ontario. Huge fan of the Seahawks. He deserves some credit. And his team won. Another shout out to one of Nolan's friends who was at the game. His second Super Bowl he's ever been to. Wow, would it be nice to have that much money. As moving on to the next point, getting back to the Super Bowl, Kenneth Walker III, to put some respect on the man's name, is one of the best running backs in the league. And I don't feel crazy saying that. I legitimately think that he is putting himself in the conversation of top 5, top 10 running back in football. I mean, the season that he just had was 1,027 yards and 5 touchdowns. Coming off of an injured 11-game season, he only had 573 last year with 7 touchdowns. Before then, and before Charbonnet joined the team, he had 9 and 8 touchdowns, and they said, "Nope, you're done. No more touchdowns for you, sir. You're just going to do all the hard work for the team." He's a guy that's easily good to accidentally get 60 yards for you. I mean, just this past season, he was, electric, especially when given the opportunity. In games when he had the bulk of carries, whether it be 10 or more, he was good. Now, to be fair to the Seahawks offense, they did play him they gave him 10 or more carries a lot of the time, but when he would get 13 or more, that's a better number to go here. When Kenneth Walker would get 13 or more carries, all right, I'm not doing the math, but he would get either 105 yards or he'd get 81 yards, or he would later on in the year get 100 yards on the dot. Again, it's not the flashiest numbers, not like a Derrick Henry, like he gets the 200-yard games, but he is so good, and he is, I feel like, not been given the opportunity. His workload is definitely on the lower side just because Charbonnet takes a lot of stuff. We see Dave Collings in the chat saying K9 will look great in red and gold next year. Sorry, that's you guys can only be so good for so long. You don't deserve a player that good to be part of a team and franchise that's been that good. That makes me sick. He needs to go to a... Let's not do that, please. That would be too good of a signing. That would be literally, and I do not use this word lightly, that would be literally perfect for the Kansas City Chiefs. I don't like it. That's too perfect. Anyways, I like Love for you guys too. Use your draft pick on Jeremiah Love, and yeah, go far with that. Looking at the game log for Kenneth Walker in the playoffs, though, this is where it gets impressive. As the first game against San Francisco, he had 116 yards, 3 touchdowns. Against the Rams, he had 62 yards and a touchdown. And then, again, Super Bowl, 135 yards. He had 80 yards in the first half of play. He was easily the MVP of that game. Very much deserved. Shout out Kenny Walker. Where do I think he will go next year is a good question because, yeah, it's hard not to say that he's going to go to the Chiefs, but more likely than not, he's going to get franchise tagged. That's the last I heard, literally from our moderator, Dave Collings, in the chat. So who knows where he's going to go, but most people know. Most people know. Who? Everyone. He's going back to Seattle, most likely only for 1 year, and then he's going to get paid after next season. And I doubt Seattle's going to be the team that does it because they are probably going to give Charbonnet the number 1 spot. So it's something to keep your eye on, all football fans. Kenny Walker, where he goes, it will matter. It's going to be one of the biggest stories, if not this offseason, then next offseason. As the next talking point we have here, Patriots are frauds. What a fraudulent team. I was talking about this again with my father. They only played 3 games against teams over 500 all season. Their schedule went Raiders under 500, Dolphins under, Pittsburgh Steelers under, Panthers sadly under, Bills over 1. Saints under, Titans under, Browns under, Falcons under, Buccaneers under, Jets under, Bengals under, Giants under, bye week. What a cakewalk. What a stretch of games that's a cakewalk. Then Bills, 2. That's 2 games against teams over 500. Then Ravens under, shockingly, I know, but under. And they won that game. To be fair, that is while the Ravens were playing good, but I'm not fair to the Patriots. They suck. And then Jets under, and then Dolphins under. So, excuse me, it's not 2, or it's not 3, it's 2. They played the Bills twice, and those were the only 2 games against teams above 500. Or at least that finished the season 500, if you want to get really technical. In the playoffs, then they played the Chargers, frauds, just like the Patriots, led by If Man and the If unit in the Chargers O-line. Oh, if they were good, then, Herbert would be great. And if Herbert had some weapons, he'd be the best. And, no. He sucks. He can't win. Doesn't matter. What an embarrassing game that was. Again, the defense, fantastic. But the Patriots in this playoff run, it's shocking. They scored 16, 28, 10, and 13. In that game against the Texans, their defense scored majority of those points. If I'm not mistaken, the points from the New England Patriots went a touchdown, so there's 7 points for the offense, genuinely. Then it went a pick six, so 1-1 offense versus defense, and 7-7 Patriots offense versus Patriots defense. Then Diggs caught a touchdown, 14-7. And then we saw, okay, Jake May threw some touchdowns. Good for him. It was the Tyler Huntley Ravens. Sorry, I gave them too much respect. Appreciate you, Nolan. Good correction there. Yeah, so never mind. They don't deserve any respect. It just makes me sick. The Texans game, that offense, they got set up on in the red zone twice by their defense. So I'm not giving them any more credit than they deserve. They're frauds. The more exciting thing to do is to look at their record for next season. You ready for this? You ready to hear some of the teams that they are going to be facing? Woof, it gets tough. So their away games, get this, they are, of course, versus Buffalo, as always, then at Chicago, at Detroit, at Kansas City, at Los Angeles Chargers, at Miami, obviously, and then for the NFC, and then at the Jets, at Jacksonville, and at Seattle. Nine road games, and I only really see them winning like 2, maybe 3 if they're lucky, and that's against the Jets and more likely than not the Dolphins. 2-7 on the road next season is very plausible. I know that Patriots fans are going to vehemently disagree with me there, but get ready for a wake-up call and a reality check next season. As their home games, of course, Bills, Dolphins, Jets, as you would expect. They also have to host Denver and Green Bay, Minnesota, and Pittsburgh. Those are the tough ones. The easy ones, of course, are, the Jets, the Raiders. It's going to be a tough season. I could very easily see the Patriots next year winning 7 games, maybe 8 at most, but that's like pushing it. Like 8 games for this schedule. Like, congratulations on the season you just had. You're not going to have another season that good. I really think for 2026, 2027, Patriots, they're done. Like that, they just had their best shot they're ever going to have. And, well, maybe not ever. Maybe that's a bit of hyperbole. But they just had the best shot they're going to have in a long time. Until they get another cakewalk schedule. I feel like they might be just like schedule merchants at this point. I don't like their receiving game. I'm not a big Diggs as a wide receiver 1 fan. And what was it? Demario Douglas and Mac Hollins as your wide receiver 2/3. Awful. Trash. That's not good. Their defense is good. I'll give them that. But when your offense isn't going to produce, you can't. I mean, they allowed the Seahawks to score 29. To be fair, a lot of that was in the blowout where their defense just kind of switched to prevent and just decided to stop caring. When it mattered most, they had a donut going through 3 quarters. So, the score got to 19-0? Sure, the Patriots defense is really good, but 19-0. Again, it's not quite fully an indictment on the defense. They were tired. The offense wasn't getting anything going. But you're allowing 19 points before the 4th quarter. It's not a good. It wasn't as good of a performance as we're used to seeing from them. They did hold them to a bunch of field goals, but I mean, it's the Super Bowl. You need more. It's simple as that. So sure, great defense. Are they going to be able to be as great as they were in the playoffs for every single regular season game next year? No, absolutely no way they won't. So yeah, 8 wins, 8-9, maybe 7-10. I'd love it. I would absolutely love to see it. And we have power rankings for 2026, 2027 from Fox NFL. Specifically, and I'm calling him out, Ralph Vacciano. He is an idiot. He is one of the biggest idiots that I have had the pleasure of reading anything that they have put out. He has the Denver Broncos as the number 1 team in his power rankings for next season. He must be from Colorado because he's smoking something. That is ridiculous. Broncos? We just talked about the Patriots being frauds. You want to talk about one of the most fraudulent teams? The Broncos didn't have a pass over 50 yards this season until Jarrett Stidham got in. The Broncos passing game is atrocious, and it's held up by one of the best lines ever assembled known to man. We talk about the Patriots and their defense leading the way. We almost saw Jarrett Stidham in the Super Bowl. The Broncos as your 1? Crazy. Absolutely ludicrous to me. The fact you don't have Seattle as your number 1 going into next year means that you don't know what you're talking about. This Seattle team is good. It's young. It's going to be able to retain most of its pieces and maybe bring in more. The fact that Seattle's not 1. Seattle's not even 2. He's got the Rams at 2. The Rams that lost to Seattle, that's only going to get older, that has more money tied up in its current players, that's going to lose more pieces. Yeah, that Rams are going to be better than Seattle next year. Give me a break. That's stupid. That's one of the worst things I've seen come out. If it wasn't for, we're just going to jump right down to number 24 on the power rankings, the Carolina Panthers. 24. He only has, and I don't get this either, the Colts, 25. I'd put a little bit more respect on their name. They just proved that they could get it done with some of the worst quarterbacks in the league. Daniel Jones had that team at 8-1? Daniel Jones. Let's be real with each other. He's horrible. He's trash. That was all coaching, all scheme, all the Colts. And the fact that the Colts are now 25, vehemently disagree with this here. Below them is the Saints, agree, Titans, agree, Dolphins, agree, Browns, Raiders, Cards, Jets. That's all fine and dandy. I'm kind of disappointed for the Colts being there, honestly. Shout out to you, Indiana Colts fans. Don't deserve that. Above the Panthers is the Steelers. What? The Vikings, who's probably going to be starting either J.J. McCarthy. They might bring back Kirk Cousins. If they do, bookmark this, clip it to me. I'm call out of the century. If they're starting J.J. McCarthy. The Dallas Cowboys, who we beat last season. We finished as a higher seed than them. Even without being the division leader, 8-9 was better than their record. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who was the division leader? Not them. I can tell you that much. To be fair to the Buccaneers, though, if they're fully healthy, that's a damn good team. So, sure. Then these make me laugh. Number 19, the Giants. And then number 18, the Falcons. The Falcons are 18, y'all. I don't believe it. They got Michael Penix leading the way with his 2 bum knees. Sorry to call him out for that. He doesn't deserve that. But really? He's the guy leading the charge, leading the way? Oof. They also have the Bengals at 16 above my Panthers, the Commanders at 17, and that's about where I stop. It's there. San Fran at 15, Green Bay 14, Lions at 13. I'm cool with all that. Texans at 12. Talk about another team carried by their defense. And then from the top 11, I'm pretty cool with the list. But other than the top 3, also the Patriots are number 4, and the Eagles are 5. Behind them is the Bills, which, hey, Bills are perennial playoff losers, but they're still a better team overall than, I'd say, the Eagles. Well, we'll see. That depends on coaching, I guess, too. All depends on what Brady does, and all depends on what offensive coordinator the Eagles bring in next season. So we'll have to wait and see. As some last things to talk about with the 2026-2027 talks, and a lot of that will revolve around the Panthers as we get to these highly questionable betting odds. I'm not a huge betting man in my past. I might have been. I might have done a series called Bet Picks, all about the daily bet that I was either giving to you guys or doing myself. A lot of the time, I wouldn't even do the bet, mostly because I was a huge loser. Hand up, being honest, like I'm in court. I lost a lot more bets than I won, and I still do. So if I'm giving bets, don't take them. Maybe the reason I stopped Bet Picks. So, anyways, looking at these betting odds, these are on Bet365. These are given to me by Nolan, so shout out to him. To win the NFC South, the Carolina Panthers are 4th. I talked about this in my short earlier today, so if you want to go watch that to get a quick, emotional digest of my reaction, do so there. But the Panthers are plus 400 to win the division. Keep in mind, Saints plus 350, Falcons plus 325, and the Buccaneers plus 130. Get out of town. Get out of here. That is, I mean, hey, honestly, no, I'm in. I'm in it. I might hammer that number. I might smash that. Plus 400 before free agency especially. I see the Panthers as either the best or the second best team in this division heading into next year. It's between us and the Buccaneers, with the Saints and then the Falcons just behind. But it's a pretty even division in all things, all fairness. For us to be 4th, do they think that half the team is going to die in a plane crash? What are these odds? I'm going to go bet this. The more I talk about it, the more I bet it. As also talking about Panthers next for the Super Bowl after party here. I say that for the betting odds on the Panthers are plus 12,500. That's 12500. We have the same odds to win next year's Super Bowl as the Saints and the Titans. Saints and the Titans with the Shuck Man and Cam Ward himself starting as their quarterbacks. Yeah, that's who we're tied with. The Titans, who they won what, 3 games? Barely. Just sitting and stewing. Because that genuinely, that's how the mainstream media perceives the Panthers. Still, to this day. They have us at 5,000 points of odds. Sure. 5,000 odds worse than the Giants. The Giants are at plus 7,500. We're at 12,500. 5,000 difference. The Giants and the Steelers? The Steelers are still ahead of us? 42-year-old Aaron Rodgers, who most likely is going to be coming back, as I've read in the reports. That's who's going to be better than us? I don't get it. I don't get it. I do not get it. I don't know who makes these lines. I'm not saying the Panthers are going to win the Super Bowl. That's ridiculous. We're not there yet. But I'm saying that we're not worse than the Steelers. We're not worse than, I don't know, the Titans or the Saints. Although we did lose to the Saints twice, so maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. As that is going to wrap up, as I've now reminded myself of those 2 losses to the Saints, I'm going to go sit in a dark room quietly while stewing in anger. I hate reliving those games, but I do love doing these streams daily. So thank you so much, everyone who decided to tune in today. A little bit of our Super Bowl hangover, the Super Bowl after party, whatever you want to call it. Had a plenty fun time. So until tomorrow, this has been Curtis from the CollingsThodeNetwork. Peace.